Hello students! Today we are going to talk about time and technology. And do you know, students, who was the first man in space? Yes, you're right. It was Yuri Gagarin. Let's start our lesson. Time and technology. Objectives. After completing this lesson, students will be able to explain what technology is, recognize that human inventions is a common bond among technologies, describe the use of scale to distinguish between objects of different size. Vocabulary. Complete the timeline of space exploration with the words in the box. You may have to change the form of the verb. Astronaut, astronomer, atmosphere, capsule, cosmos, crew, gravity, launch, verb. Man-made, mission, mission control. Orbit, noun, orbit, verb. Planet, re-enter, satellite, spacecraft, space shuttle, space station, touchdown. Timeline of space exploration. 1957. The Soviet Union sent air called Sputnik into space. It was the first object ever to leave the Earth. 1959. Two monkeys became the first animals to survive space travel. They experienced zero for 9 minutes before their space returned to Earth. 1961. The first man in space, Russian, Yuri Gagarin, the Earth for 108 minutes before the Earth's atmosphere and landing in a secret location. 1968. 3 Americans orbited the moon in their Apollo 8 for 20 hours before making a save in the sea. 1969. American Neil Armstrong became the first man to walk on the moon. 1972. Apollo 17 successfully completed the last ever to the moon. 1981. Columbia, the first, made its first flight. Unlike previous spacecraft, it was designed to be reused. 1986. The Soviet Union, the Mir, which remained in around the Earth until November 2000. 1990. The Hubble telescope, named after the Edwin Hubble, was sent into orbit and began sending back amazing photos of the 1997. A robot called Sojourner spent nearly 3 weeks moving around the surface of the Mars and sent back 550 photos to scientists on the Earth. 2001. A billionaire businessman called Dennis Tito paid $20 million to become the first space tourist. He joined the International Space Station for 8 days. 2018. The USA plans to spend $100 billion on a mission to put humans back on the moon by 2018. 1961. The first man in space, Russian astronaut Yuri Gagarin, orbited the Earth for 108 minutes before re-entering the Earth's atmosphere and landing at a secret location. 1968. 3 Americans orbited the moon in their spacecraft Apollo ate for 20 hours before making a safe touchdown in the sea. 1969. American Neil Armstrong became the first man to walk on the moon. 1957. The Soviet Union sent a satellite called Sputnik into space. It was the first man-made object ever to leave the Earth's atmosphere. 1959. Two monkeys became the first animals to survive space travel. They experienced zero gravity for 9 minutes before their space capsule returned to Earth. 1972. Apollo 17 successfully completed the last ever mission to the moon. 1981. Columbia, the first space shuttle, made its first flight. Unlike previous spacecraft, it was designed to be reused. 1986. The Soviet Union launched the Mir space station, which remained in orbit around the Earth until November 2000. 1990. The Hubble telescope, named after the astronomer Edwin Hubble, was sent into orbit and began sending back amazing photos of the cosmos. 1997. A robot called Sojourner spent nearly 3 weeks moving around the surface of the planet Mars and sent back 550 photos to scientists at Mission Control on Earth. 2001. A billionaire businessman called Dennis Titov paid $20 million to become the first space tourist. He joined the crew of the International Space Station for 8 days. 2080. The USA plans to spend $1,000 billion on a mission to put humans back on the moon by 2080.
With the recent growth of interest in space, we've seen aerospace companies developing space planes to create an industry in space tourism. We've seen NASA announce findings on other planets, moons, and solar systems, and we've even seen companies such as SpaceX pushing their vision of an interplanetary species. But what's the point? What are the benefits of doing this, and is it really that important? Interest in what lies beyond Earth isn't something all that new. From the dawn of civilization, humans have always been interested in space. We saw the beginnings of planetary theory in ancient Mesopotamia. We know that ancient Egyptian priests used the position of the sun to predict flooding and built temples that strategically allowed light in during certain parts of the year. And the Mayans often aligned their cities to coincide with astronomical events. Exploration isn't just about curiosity. Exploration is necessary for advancement, whether that be for yourself, your species, or your planet. Because humans have explored, we have expanded our scientific knowledge, and because we have expanded our knowledge, our civilizations have advanced at an exponential rate. The world that we've created today is the result of several millennia worth of knowledge, much of which has been built through exploration. In general, exploration gives us information, and information allows us to understand our universe more thoroughly. Despite being mostly empty, our exploration of space has provided us with an abundance of information. Over just the last few decades, we've determined the approximate age of the universe. We found water on Mars. In 1992, we detected the first exoplanets. Between the years of 2004 and 2005, we discovered 3 new dwarf planets in our solar system. In 2014, we discovered that Enceladus, one of Saturn's moons, was hiding an underwater ocean. There are several examples of this, but I think you get the point. While these bits of information are interesting and the data can be used to further study the universe, the machines we built and the methods we use to gather this information provides us with a more direct reward: technology. Due to the specialized tools needed to explore space, technological advancements are often made while developing these tools. Some prominent examples of this include camera phones, wireless headsets, memory foam, computer mice, and even laptops. Many of these examples have become items we use on a daily basis. You may even be using some of them right now. With the help of these technological advancements, we built the International Space Station. The astronauts who work on the ISS are able to do experiments that aren't possible on Earth due to the difference in gravity. These experiments not only allow us to better prepare for future space exploration, but they often work on projects that can potentially save lives. Exomedicine, the study of medicine and microgravity, is a good example of this. Gravity has an effect on a molecular level, so working in an environment where it can be eliminated from the equation allows discoveries that would otherwise be impossible. Medical advances due to space exploration include improvements in breast cancer detection, programmable pacemakers, and laser angioplasty. Due to all the technology that stems from space exploration, the agencies that develop this tech tend to provide a good return on investment. Although difficult to get a precise number, it is estimated that NASA returns about 7 to 14 times the investment from the technology they develop. The money isn't all in development, however.
Listen to 5 people talking about space tourism. Match the speakers 1 to 5 to their opinion, A to F. There is one opinion that you don't need. Speaker 1, Speaker 2, Speaker 3, Speaker 4, Speaker 5. A. Space tourism will become the ultimate holiday for people who enjoy adventure. B. There will always be a high risk of accidents. C. Holidays in space sound exciting but would not be much fun in reality. D. Space tourism will never be available to majority of people because of the cost. E. Traveling into space would be much more uncomfortable than people realize. F. Space tourism will become as normal in the future as beach holidays are today.
Lesson 10A. Exercises 4 and 5. Speaker 1.
Most people only know about space travel from watching science fiction films, which don't give a very realistic view. Let's be honest, travelling in a spacecraft is not at all comfortable. For a start, you don't have much space to move around, and also the ride itself is very bumpy. And hot too, when the spacecraft re-enters the Earth's atmosphere. Basically, I'd rather stick to cycling.
Speaker 2.
I'd be really nervous about going on any kind of spacecraft. I just don't think it would be very safe. If you look at the history of space exploration, there have been quite a few accidents. 2 space shuttles have exploded, for example. When you think about it, the number of accidents is quite high compared to the total number of flights. It's always going to be dangerous because the spacecraft has to travel so fast to get into orbit.
Speaker 3.
I'm sure that when airplanes were first invented, people never believed that they would become an everyday form of transport. Now there are millions of flights every year, and it's impossible to imagine tourism without air travel. If you ask me, the same thing will happen with space tourism. At the moment, it seems a really strange idea, but I'm sure that in the future, it will become totally normal. Spending a few days on a space station will be just like spending a few days by the sea.
Speaker 4.
I wouldn't really be interested in space tourism, even if I could afford it. I suppose my feeling is that a holiday in space would be much less interesting than a holiday on Earth. I mean, on Earth, there are lots of amazing places to visit, different landscapes, amazing wildlife, interesting people. Why go up into space and spend a week looking out of the window of a space station? Space travel sounds exciting, but I don't think there's really much to do up there.
Speaker 5.
Holidaymakers are always looking for something new, something that gives them a real rush of excitement. That's why adventure holidays are so popular. It's the mixture of amazing scenery and a bit of danger. I bet that thousands of people, maybe millions, would just love to go into space. The way I look at it, you can't get any more exciting than a holiday that's literally out of this world.
Let's check. Answers. A. Speaker 5. B. Speaker 2. C. Speaker 1. D. Speaker 4. E. Speaker 3. Mars. Mars is the 4th planet from the Sun in the solar system. It is often described as a red planet. Mars has 2 moons, which are small and irregularly shaped. Trip to Mars is an old dream of mankind. During its travels may open new natural resources which will improve life of humanity in the future. Mars is an unknown planet that hides a lot of secrets. Currently we know that life on Mars doesn't exist, but scientists continue to explore the planet. Life on Mars is very different from life on Earth. The main difference is gravity, temperature, lack of water pressure, and carbon dioxide instead of oxygen. During a trip to Mars, many things can go wrong. For example, breakage of equipment, large amount of radiation, and dust storms are a threat to human health. Trip will be important for human civilization if one takes the first step to another planet to colonize it later. Colonization of Mars can play a big role in saving mankind in the case of some global catastrophe on Earth, such as collision with an asteroid. The major changes that will happen in future. Space travel is freely available. Transport traffics are many leveled and all kinds of transport are flying. Cloned human organs are available. All countries exist without governmental structure. Nowadays, everyone can travel in our solar system, but traveling in different solar systems is banned because of danger from different unknown civilizations who want to enslave us. All kinds of transport are flying. Transport works on solar energy. This kind of energy is the most effective, and today we know a lot of different ways of its using. Cars based on solar energy can fly very fast, nearly 900 kilometers per hour. That is why there is a great many level traffic system. All flying transport have two ways of driving, computer driving and personal driving. But on the highest level, fly cars only with the computer driving because of the high speed. Fun facts. Age of the Sun. The Sun formed 4.5 billion years ago. The solar system coalesced from a cloud of gas and dust. Our Sun is a medium-sized yellow star that is 93,026,724 miles from the Earth. The Earth is closest to the Sun around January 2nd each year. It is farthest away from the Sun around July 2nd each year. Another fun fact. You can cry in space, but your tears don't fall. On Venus, a day is longer than a year. If you fell into a black hole, you would stretch like spaghetti. Footprints left behind by astronauts on the Moon will stay there forever. The solar system formed around 4.6 billion years ago. The planet Mercury, named after the Roman god of travel. The planet Mercury made mostly of iron. A year on Mercury is 88 Earth days. Exit still is 2.11 degrees. Closest planet to the Sun. Temperature range minus 280 degrees Fahrenheit and 800 degrees Fahrenheit. Smallest planet in our solar system. If Earth were hollow, could fit about 20 Mercuries inside. Students, our lesson is over. Goodbye, see you soon. Your Айнура Капаровна.